probably in South Louisiana.
We are back on our show this Tuesday morning. Good to have Jayne Wright Velez with us from the Food Bank of Central Louisiana. They have responded to the flooding disaster here in Central Louisiana. Can tell us and talk a bit more about it. Jayne, thanks for coming.
Yes, good morning. Well,
Good morning.
The Food Bank, of course, is all about alleviating hunger year-round, every year, all the time. And when we get into situations now where we have a disaster, our job just increases. We go into disaster mode, which means we're supplying groups we might not normally work with, but they're feeding people. So our partners are Louisiana Baptist Convention, Southern, the Salvation Army, and then also, you know, we have churches that respond to the need just on their own, and they may not have been our partners before, but because they're responding to their need, we go ahead and help them as well. So the majority of the food we've sent out so far is to those congregate feeding sites. A lot of supplies have gone into Vernon Parish and some into Grant Parish because those areas have been hit really hard. The Burr Ferry Pentecostal Church and the Congregational Church there in Evans have really been doing a phenomenal job, not only sheltering people, but feeding people ever since this happened. And so we're working to try to supply all of the groups that ask for help in whatever parish they are to try to make sure that everybody has enough to eat during this very difficult time. You know, a lot of the national organizations are coming in to support this as well because it is such a widespread disaster. And they work together through a group called VOAD, which is Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. And this group actually began in 1969 after Hurricane Camille, when you would find Red Cross and Salvation Army trucks sort of crossing paths and maybe sending all the resources to one side of the city and not covering the other. Yeah. So we really began to coordinate and communicate with each other at that point. I've been involved since Hurricane Andrew, actually. 1992, I had to think about that for a second. But that same mechanism is still in play today and it still applies. So we have conference calls with all of the groups trying to work together, and just an example of how it works is, you know, you may have food bank food that was donated from wherever, and it may be cooked in a Southern Baptist kitchen and may be delivered by a Red Cross truck. You know, so it really takes all of the organizations working together, and we just wanted to make sure that Central Louisiana understands that the local organizations are responding, and we're going to continue to respond because this isn't going away just because the water recedes. The needs are still there. The cleanup's going to take a long time. And we want to encourage people to help however they can, whatever they have to share.
Okay. And certainly looking for monetary donations right now.
Right. To date, we've sent over 35,000 pounds of food to these areas, and that number's only going to go up. When we let everybody know we were helping, it was at 29,000, but of course that's continuing to change. And also, we want to let parishes know that if you haven't reached out to the food bank and you do have a feeding operation that needs some help, we're here for you, and we want to be able to provide resources to you as well.
It's wonderful. It's interesting to know what happens in a time of crisis and that these organizations are working together. Because as I mentioned, driving into work this morning, I saw Billy Graham Ministries, a rapid response team coming through Alexandria, trailers and big trucks and caravans. You said they've been helping in North Louisiana, and they're headed to South Louisiana.
Yes, there are many teams from all over the country who are gathering now, and they've been providing resources, and they have teams that will be, you know, mucking out houses and helping people however they can, and then also providing distribution of cleaning supplies, cleanup kits. You know, it takes all of that type of.
It's a lot of work to be done.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, if you want to get involved, you know, give us a call. We'll be glad to try to link you up with a group that is willing to help.
But you know, even a $25 donation means so much more when you're talking about what you purchase food for.
Oh, absolutely, because you know the food is donated, so for that 25, you know, for every dollar we can give 5 meals, and so that we can really multiply that gift, and that helps us provide that trucking to get the donated food to us. So
you can really make a difference.
Yes, whatever you have to share, it all adds up, and it takes everybody pulling together. You know, just like I mentioned, all the organizations. Yes, it's really teamwork. So I just want to encourage people to, you know, you might not be able to come out and help give out boxes of groceries, but you may have $5, you know, that you can share with us, or $25. It goes to a good cause.
Because once the disaster is gone, you're still faced with feeding hungry people every day.
Right, Exactly. We're faced with not only feeding people every day, but then that 35,000 pounds came out of our supply that was going to feed those people every day. And so we need to replenish that so we can continue to meet our mission. Yes.
For more information, how do folks get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Call us at the food bank. It's 445-2773. We'll be glad to help you.
Wonderful.
Jayne, thanks for coming.
Jayne.
Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Going to visit with Brian Kubrow and Jimmy Sawtell in just a minute. Talk about the Do It Right Scholarship. Stay here.